Hey YouTube, we're back. Welcome to part 3. We're going to start building the Scourge. So we're going to start building the Hunters and the Reapers. And these are very simple sprues. They're smaller, I believe smaller sprues than the UCM. So, very easy to follow. 28 for the turret, 29. So you look at your sprues, and there's numbers. I don't know if you can see they're on there. So this is all very correlates. Those are your 29. There's your 2 bodies for that, and then you'll see your body for your transport. Or no, that's that's your dropship, and then there's your troop transport, and there's all your Scourge troops along there. So I'm gonna start cutting this off. Tools I use: flat edge sprue cutter. Who is this by? This is by Tamiya. So you know it's a good quality item, and it's really gets you really close to where you want to be with a little limited cleanup. I do have a flash remover. It's basically like a really sharp solid steel, and it doesn't really cut into anything, but it will really smooth off the ends you want. And then I'm using a sanding stick, and you can, I think I picked these up at Hobby Lobby, and there's fine, medium, and coarse. This is a fine because this is a very soft plastic and very small pieces. I can just do a real quick demo of this. So we're going to do 28 and 29. So here is part 29. I'm going to go in against the edge, so it gives you very little cleanup. Kind of go in there. And then up here, I'm going to be a little more careful. Actually, yeah, we can just go in like this, clean it up a little bit later. There's our piece. And then we want number 28. And there's 28 right there. So I want to make sure we're not cutting any of the detail off. There's a little there, and then don't it keeps moving the sprue around so I don't cut anything off that I don't want. So go against, that's obviously a barrel of some sort. There, we're good. And we can go in and look at the parts where we cut, like these 2 edges right here. That's where we just get to bring in our little sanding stick and just gently go in there. These are flexible too. It's kind of nice to work with those. And then see the other part where we cut off these these edges right here. And there's very little cleanup on this, as you can see the way I cut it. Just use your finger as a guide. Feel any pokies or any uneven edges. We're good there. So we know we got the side of the barrel to clean up where we have that attached. Kind of feel around. And then this is a real simple model. You just pop that on like that. You can probably magnetize if you wanted to. I'm not really concerned about magnetizing it. This is one of our ground cannons. So this is not, this is a heavy grav tank. And just to glue it, it's very simple. We have our Tamiya extra thin cement. Kind of work off the excess. Just kind of, this is where you probably put a little extra. There's a big divot in there. And you can make it a little more dynamic in the way you want to pose it. So let's like give it a little 45-degree turn on there. That's kind of cool. And that's done. So I'm going to start putting these tanks together, and we'll be back. And not going to bore you doing each one. And we'll keep a little vlog of what putting this 2-player box set together, getting it to paint it and putting it on the board. And then, like I said in previous parts, build up some extra terrain for it. This is, if you want to do something from trains, I will show something about some little sedans N scale, train scale, fits this perfectly for the 10mm scale of wargaming. So, as usual, thanks again. We'll see you in the next section of this part. Hey, we're back. Got the glue out. I've been doing a semi-line building on these. All the tanks are done. The transports are done. Most of the troops are done. I'm just going to show you what I just did real quick. I just cut everything off, cleaned the bases, and while I'm doing gluing these, I'm cleaning them. So I have a little emery board here, light 240. Just kind of run them on there real quick. And this is plastic cement, so it's going to melt this down a little bit too. So put a little bit there and a drop in the base. I'm ready to go. So this is so simple. And this glue is so nice, the way the applicator works. You can control it, so I can wipe a little bit of it off, wipe the guy down, put a nice coat right there, and then had something stuck in there. Got that out. And a nice little drop in there. We're done. And I'm going to sand these also. I'm not going to do that on cameras because you saw that when I did that in the last couple parts. It was very simple to do with the watered down turbo tacky glue that I've been using. That one's really clean. I even need to sand that one down. And I'm just grabbing these guys, not doing them any kind of particular order. I'm having them all face forward with the larger group in the front. Kind of what the instructions say, but I'm not doing any kind of order with the weapons or anything like that. So I'm going to throw this guy in, and we're done. And then we'll come back and work on that transport. And we'll be going over to the priming stage with this whole set, which we'll just do a couple, and then we'll go into painting. And that's when we'll start going into real detailed videos. So that's it. I'm going to finish these last dudes, and then we'll be back. Thanks. Hey, we're back real quick. Almost finished. I did the first Marauder medium dropship for the Scourge, and the only difficulty on this was the little gun here. It did not fit in that groove, so I had to go in with a file and just kind of make it fit, and I did maybe a little damage right there, but you won't be able to see it. I mean, this is so tiny. But this is for the Hunter and the Reapers. These are the tanks. Then I will be going in with a different, than only 2 layers for the invaders. And these are the little troop APCs for the Scourge. So this is a little update. I'm going to be back. I'm going to finish the other one. Then we're going to be on our way to priming and painting. Thank you for joining me. Hey YouTube, it's David, Richter Scale Studios. Oops, sorry about that. And here is the Scourge arm is finished. I'm going to do one more flooding of PVA on the troop bases, but those are all done. These are all set up for their different vehicles. We have the 2 tanks, and then we have the APC carrier. So that is it for this part. And we will start priming these in the next part, and then painting, and get this show on the road. As usual, thank you for joining me.